to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.
Football is in the air as Week 1 kicks off around the state of Missouri, and with that, the new Central Ozark Conference makes its way into Laclede County as the Webb City Cardinals are traveling down I-44 with their 16 state championships in tow to face off against the Lebanon Yellow Jackets right behind us at Jacket Stadium at 7 o'clock tonight. And we are officially live for our first edition of the 2024 pregame show. I'm Alex Boyer. Alongside me are my two wonderful co-hosts, but before I introduce them, let's take a second to thank our sponsors: Heritage Bank of the Ozarks, D&K Roofing, Mercy Hospital Lebanon, Missouri Cooperage, Jonesy's Travel Center, Results Advertising, Phones Outdoor Power, and Century 21 Laclede Realty. Well, I guess if you're already here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Trying to surpass 2,000 subscribers during football season. And let's go ahead and introduce you guys. Trey, start with you.
Thanks for having me, Alex. Trey Overstreet, as said, and my background with football started in 2009 with the Mizzou football team after playing for Coach Christian here for the Yellow Jackets, and then spent 3 years with that team and came back home. From 2013 on, I have been in various roles with Coach Christian and his staff, and stepped away this year to help Alex and to provide some insight into the program, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, Trey is one of my best friends. Glad to have him a part of our team here. And then to my right, Coach Zach Miller. Coach, tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, again, like kind of Trey said, appreciate you having me on. And this will be my first time, and I mean, Trey can attest this too, my first time in 13 years that on a Friday night I'm not coaching football in some capacity. So having the opportunity to do this with you guys helps me kind of scratch that itch of staying connected to the program. And, I know particularly this offense, I know a lot about it. It's just fun to still be able to talk with you guys and talk to the people out there and explain some things. I know Coach Summers did an awesome job the other night on Chalk Talk, and to be able to follow up on that and kind of break down our game. And I got here in 2017, came from Cheney County, Missouri, and I was fortunate enough, Coach Christian extended his hand out and invited me up here to coach. And it was kind of as we were getting rolling. 17 was the year we won districts, beat Ozark, John Berry with the carry. And we've just been really fortunate to have a good run of success ever since, and been here every step of the way, and it's been fun.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your nights to always do this and volunteer where needed. But let's talk about the 2023 season for Lebanon, coming off a campaign where the Jackets finished 10-1 overall before falling to Republic in a close Class 5 District 6 title game. 3 straight Ozark Conference titles, including the last ever Ozark Conference championship for Will Christian and the Yellow Jackets. But, 45 points per game on offense and allowed just 15 points per game on defense. But, Coach Miller, you were a part of that staff. Tell us how special that group was last year and some things that you thought stood out that separated that group more than the ones that you had in years past.
That group was a very special group in the fact that I've never been around a group of seniors in the years that I've been here where they could turn it on and off as far as they could joke around and things like that. But when it was time to practice, they turned it on and they got serious. And as coaches, it's just, you name it. I mean, any of those guys, Gavin, Drew, Hoyt, Griffin, I mean, the list goes on. The whole group where you could be mad at them one play and then the very next play you're smiling because you're laughing or something like that. It was a unique group. They had a good time. I don't know that we had a senior group, definitely from a coaching standpoint, where we were really connected to them. We had a good time. We enjoyed them. They enjoyed us, but they worked their tails off for us. And, you really got that sense that they would do anything for you, and I know we would for them. So it was a great group.
Yeah, great group. Like you said, make no mistake about it, though. Coach Christian's not new to this game. He understands that every 4 years, every year, you're going to have to replace a plethora of guys, and that's no different for the 2024 Jackets. Fans will get to see some new faces out on the field tonight against the Webb City Cardinals, and obviously a big challenge awaits in the COC, and one coming up in just under 2 hours behind us, weather pending, and I know you're excited to give that weather report there at the end. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, hear some words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back right after this. You're watching the Jacket Nation Sports pregame show on YouTube. Back here on the Jacket Nation Sports pregame show, having some technical difficulties there with our commercials, but again, do want to take time to thank our sponsors: Heritage Bank of the Ozarks, D&K Roofing, Mercy Hospital Lebanon, Missouri Cooperage, Jonesy's Travel Center, Results Advertising, Phones Outdoor Power, and Century 21 Laclede Realty. I think people are probably tired of listening to me, so I'll hand it over to the two guys that know football best. Break down the elite matchups on both sides of the ball between Lebanon and Webb City. Trey, I'll start with you. What do you expect to see on the defensive side of the ball tonight?
Yeah, both defenses I expect to be very disciplined even for early season play. Kind of a staple of a Will Christian team and a Curtis Allen defense is their ability to take away the dive, take away the quarterback, and take away the pitch, and both teams are going to be asked to do that. And both teams will give each offense a different look, throughout the game on where that pitch key is coming from, where that read key is coming from initially, and just trying to slow down that option offense on both sides of the football. You're looking at a big key to the game being which defense can help that offense in winning the turnover battle.
Yep.
And trying to be plus in the turnover battle at the end of the night. Probably +2 is going to win you the game.
Sure.
And you're talking in a potentially in a likely very wet environment, which defense can go out and force a fumble and create a big play.
Yeah,
like Trey said, I mean, you look at it, I mean, Webb don't take the L very often, but when they do, I mean, there's been that night for them where they've had 2+ turnovers, 3, 4. I mean, it happens. When you get that luck falling on your side, I mean, that's really going to give you a good chance to be successful. So, like he said, I mean, we'll definitely need to be +2.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll talk about it here with the offense, but you have two new faces at quarterback for both these guys. Beckett York, the sophomore standout for Lebanon, will get the start for Will Christian and the Yellow Jackets, and then Gabe Johnson ended up tearing his ACL for Webb City. So I know that they're going to rely heavily upon Jackson Lucas, who kind of stepped in and did a decent job last year. But it's a big game and should be pretty nerve-wracking for both those quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, starting off the year, I mean, both teams, I think, I will say this, Coach Christian has talked about it, that we went, a few years ago, we went to Webb and played in the quarterfinals in back-to-back years. And in both times, for a half, even 3 quarters, I mean, we gave them all they could handle and wanted. And then just, things that happened, the fall of the ball, this and that. And, we ended up taking the L both years. But, I mean, we earned their respect, no doubt. So, I mean, you're not – so from one standpoint, you've got a Webb City staff who's got tons of respect for what we do. I mean, you rattled off the numbers over the last several years. I mean, they know what they're getting into, just like we know what we're getting into. So, but both quarterbacks, I mean, they have a lot of good players around them, both quarterbacks. So, the pressure is on them because the quarterback's the only guy outside the center that's touching it every single snap. You're the only one guaranteed to touch the football, but both quarterbacks will have a plethora of talent around them, and that's where they'll be getting the ball to.
Yeah, and your keys to the game on offense,
man.
tonight.
I mean, I'm gonna have to even before the rain, before our weather report, which Trey's gonna get to at the end. Even before we heard that coming into the forecast this afternoon, I mean, turnovers. I mean, when you get two teams run the ball like this, turnovers. I mean, you look at the district championship last year against Webb City. They opened the half with an onside and they gained an extra possession. And ultimately, it was probably the one that got them the W. Yeah. Whether it's the defense creating turnovers, special teams, you name it. If we have to take care of the ball, and then we got to try to get, like Trey said, we got to try to get some turnovers from them in some way, shape, or form. And they're in the black hole tonight, so maybe something crazy will happen and go our way.
Yeah, and Republic, they used that onside kick to their advantage that whole way through their Class 5 run.
That whole run, I mean, they were a really good football team. They had 20-something seniors, all starters on the offense, just a really good football team, and they had been since they were sophomores. But, I mean, Lady Luck was on their side. Not to say, I mean, I've talked to some of those. They put a lot of time and effort into onside. But when you're doing it as much as they do, you're going to. So it got them to win against us. I'm pretty confident of that. It's sold a possession at half. They get 2 against Elias in a 28-14 game, and then they get 1 against Webb.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way to the state championship, they got onside. So, so along with the turnover thing, I think it's our guys up front on offense, our offensive line. When you look at Perkins, Jackson, Alford, Redmond, and Woods, and then some of the other guys that will be in there tonight, our tight ends, Quentin Hendricks, and then some of our backup linemen that will get some reps as well. Pad level will be huge here. For those that don't know, when you see Webb City out there, I'd be shocked if they weren't an even front, 2s and 5s, maybe a shade, something like that. I've been wrong before, but I would be shocked if you didn't see an even front from them. their D line will be in 4-point stance. I mean, they're going to be low, both hands down, and they're going to hit you in the knees. So you got to win at the line of scrimmage. And as good as we've been in years past, we've got a great group, a young group. Okay, still got a lot of growing to do, got a lot of learning to do. Tough ask week one, but you're not going to get a better chance to see what you're good at and what you need to improve on film. And it's a great opportunity for them. But 3 inches of movement, that's all we're asking for. You get 3 inches of movement, we can move the chains. Now, obviously we want the big gashing plays too, but that line's working together and you get 3 inches of push, we can get the ball moving downfield, control the clock. And then lastly, BY8, my boy Beckett.
Yep.
As much as we say it's not all on the quarterback, again, like I said, sophomore, first time out, wet ball game most likely under Friday Night Lights. A lot of people here. It's Webb City. But if there's a kid that can handle that and just step right in and be business as usual, it's him. He's a special kid, quiet leader, but like I said, he's the only one guaranteed to touch that ball every time. So we need him to do the little things. And for people that don't know at home, our offense, although it may not look technical, it's extremely technical. We keep it easy. We keep it simple. We don't do a lot, but there's a lot within it. So, tonight, Beckett getting he goes over to the sideline, gets the play. He runs back out there. He's got the play clock going. He's got to be cognizant of that. What's that on? I break the huddle. And at that point, he's got an 8 to 10 second window, and there's things he's looking for. The first thing right out the gate is, are we one high? Are we two high? Are they rolling a man down? I've got to be calling that as I'm walking up to the line. Then I got to be checking, hey, are they even? Are they even odd? Are they even stack? Are they odd stack? Are they in a bear front? Again, these are football things, which throughout the season maybe I can go over some of those. People will figure out what I'm talking about. But so he's got to do that. Then he's got to make sure his receivers are lined up correctly in the correct formation. If we have a tight end in the game, 31 personnel, he's got to make sure he's on the right side of the formation as well. And then lastly, if we got an option call on, he's got to find his option keys, the give and pull key, the pitch key if we're in a triple. And then he's got to be under center, ready to do his thing, take a deep breath, and get his cadence down. And it's got to be the same cadence every time because he's got guys in motion, the guy snapping the ball, all this stuff. And like I said, this is all in like an 8 to 10 second window.
Seems pretty easy.
Yeah, right.
For a guy that's still getting dropped off by his mom and dad at the games and
exactly.
That's what I was thinking about this whole week. It's like you're starting a guy in the first ever COC game for the Yellow Jackets, and his mom and dad are dropping him off and going to take him home with him. But
against the best program in
there'll be some grown looking men
16
out there.
state championships for the Webb City Cardinals, so it should be an easy night for Beckett. But we were at practice all week. Sorry to interrupt you, and the word that we kept hearing was pad level. How important is that pad level going to be tonight?
Yeah, both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. He mentioned the Webb City front four, likely front four on defense, having two hands in the ground and firing off low. And that's going to be a key throughout the season for our defense and our offensive line is playing with a pad level. You've got some really big kids. We're large up front from compared to years past.
Yeah.
They are puppies, but it's a big group of kids, a big strong group of kids. And if that pad level comes along with the size, I think it'll end up being a strength of the team on both sides of the football. Obviously, the defensive line is solidified there on the edges with Hendricks and with Nick Allen.
Yeah.
And you feel really comfortable with what they've got. And I know from talking to Coach this week that Hendricks is going to move inside a little bit to kind of give him a little bit more consistency in there. And they're going to go with a couple juniors out there, one on the edge and Christian Williams and one inside and Mason Jones and big bodies, athletic bodies that can definitely make a difference in tonight's game.
Yeah. Well, I would kick it to commercial break, but obviously don't have those. And so we'll just jump right into it. Obviously, we got to make this pregame show a little bit fun. So kind of like college game day, we're going to go through our own pick 'em. We're going to pick every COC game each week besides the game that we're calling, which will always be Lebanon. I don't think it would be very fun for you guys to hear us pick Lebanon every week. That's
Jackets all the way.
That's never going to change. But so we'll do every other COC game, and then we'll do some area games and pick them. And I haven't told Ramsey and Brian this yet, but these guys have to decide a punishment for the last place loser for the pick 'em for the year. Whatever that may be, we'll figure it out eventually.
That could get interesting.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys have planned for Zach, okay, guys?
Yeah, or we can leave it up to the fans too if the fans want to decide what last place gets. But we have 6 games on the docket this week. We start off with game number 1, Republic at Nixa. Besides this game that we're calling, wow, what a way to start off the season with Class 6 Nixa, and then the Class 5 runner-ups, Republic Tigers. Obviously, the Tigers and Ryan Cornelison lose quite a bit of talent, but whenever you have that type of season, it's easy to get kids back out for that program, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, much like us, they had a very highly touted sophomore group that'll be juniors this year. So a lot like us, a lot of juniors that kind of unproven, but a good group of kids that have been coming up their system for a while. So maybe some growing pains here and there, but expect them as they get into their district, which I'm sure we'll get into that some other time. The districts came out today. Yeah. When they get into their districts, to be playing really good ball.
Yeah. So Republic at Nixa. I don't even know how we want to start this. You wanna go first?
You want me to kick it off?
Are we doing a points line on this? Or
no,
are we gonna keep it? Let's not do that. Okay.
I know we would like to do that, but we're just gonna do pick.
Let's not get that
just
interesting.
Pick'ems,
it's not legal in the state of Missouri until November 6th. So.
Yeah, Trey said there's a big vote going on.
Get out and vote. I'm going Nixa big. I really do. I think, like we talked, the trenches is going to be big for those guys. And I know Republic lost a lot. They're building. I expect them to continue to build on what they've done.
It's easy to whenever you have that type of success.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's definitely easier when you make a run like they did and you get all the way to the state finals in a Southwest Missouri city that's not used to that in very few sports other than basketball, in the recent history. So I expect Republic to continue to build and be better by week 11 or 12 than they are week 1. But I think just that continuity in Nixa and then that. We get a lot of talk by the big man up front, but that quarterback, the sophomore quarterback's a dude.
Adam McKnight.
Yeah,
he's gonna be a name to watch for the next couple of years. And like you said, obviously Jackson Cantwell gets the much deserved publicity.
I'm willing to bet they run left a lot.
Sure, I saw his Jamboree huddle tape, and that would be a good idea for John Perry. And what a job that John Perry's done. And go ahead.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, kind of his background is he was down in Mississippi in Pearl High School, and state championships, has had a lot of guys playing in the SEC. And just for anybody that's never been down south, I mean, you can go to any, big city, small town, small country road, county school. They got county high schools down south. It's a little different, and you can throw a rock and hit a Division I athlete. It's unbelievable. And he had his pick of them down there. Had a lot of success, came up here. His former superintendent from that same area came up with him. Those two got together and decided that football and all sports at Nixa were going to be a priority, and man, have they ran with it. His offense, they'll run some variations of RPO. They're going to run the football. That's going to be a staple they do. But like I said, RPOs are very difficult to defend at any level, but especially if you're good at it and it's high school, man, that's a game changer, and they are good at it. And like I said, they've got best player in the state. At left tackle. Not one of the best, arguably. So, I know. So,
he's gonna look good in the black and gold. Sorry,
I'm with you. I think that's. Aren't his parents grad from there?
One of them.
You would think.
But so with all that being said, Republic at Nixa. Who are you taking tonight?
I'm gonna go Nixa. I don't know how Republic's had success the last couple of years against them because they bleed that clock. You guys watched them when we played them last year. It was, they'll bleed that clock. Now, like I said, you've got a whole new junior class stepping up that doesn't have the experience that group had last year. So, maybe that's the X factor, and maybe they come up short because of that. But, because of what they do, running the football, they're always going to keep it close.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep it chalk and go with the Nixa Eagles as well. Just too much talent lost for that Republic team. It will take a few weeks for them to get adjusted and back on track, but I do think Ryan Cornelison does a great job with the Tigers program, and
definitely
could be a fun game. So good thing we don't have the little screen where they can screenshot it that everyone picked Nick, so they might just screen record it. But
I'd say there's
guys,
there's some family members of mine in Republic not super happy.
There's a good chance for the year's over we're on a bar stool.
Yeah, we'll see.
Try to avoid that.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, not any fault of ours, but
Game 2, Willard at Ozark. What Trey kicked off last time. We'll start with Zach here.
New coach going to Willard McFarland. New system, obviously. They're gigantic. I know they're really big up front. Willard is. Ozark, they have a second-year head coach. They got a really good quarterback. I'm anxious to see. They talked in the preseason about he was going to play inside linebacker and quarterback for him. And I don't know in this conference if you can get away with that for a year. If he's as good as they say he is at quarterback, you'd think that's where he's going to make his money. But give me Ozark. Why not?
Yeah.
Give me Ozark.
I think I'm going to go. I would have said the Tigers, but that would have made much sense. I'm going to go Ozark too. I really think Jeremy Cordell is building something really nice there in Ozark, and saw their new indoor facility. That's a pretty easy recruiting pitch to get kids to come out and play. But I'm going Ozark. I did like the McFarland hire for Willard. I
Yeah.
think he had a lot of success at Reed Spring.
Yep.
Not an easy place to win, and he did a good job there for
Yeah.
a few years.
Yep.
And
Kind of a similar situation. I mean, Willard, has had, obviously with Roten was there. They had some good years. Their former head coach is now at Glendale. He had a good year last year, but it's just year in and year out. It's hard to be consistent there. So, I mean, he's kind of stepping into a similar situation. So a program that's really hungry to win, and he did it pretty quick at Reed Springs. So we'll see if he can do it at Willard for sure.
yeah, I'm going Ozark. I think it's close, but I just think Ozark has a little bit more firepower.
I hate to make it back-to-back where we sweep it, but I think it's going to be Ozark again. Just the consistency and not a new coach.
Yeah, year 2 under that, your same coach, your same coordinators. I mean, that makes a difference for
It's
sure.
definitely going to mean the difference in that game.
And I don't know if people have figured this out yet, but the first 4 weeks, I believe, are all the crossover games
Yeah,
between the East and the
correct.
West. So
Yep.
a lot of travel here these first couple of weeks
Yeah.
for some of these schools. But once week 5 comes around, it'll be shorter travel distances and playing your own division.
Yep.
Game 3, Neosho at Glendale. Glendale gets Frank Tristan from Willard, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
As their new head coach. And
A former Falcon himself.
they'll get to see what a running back looks like for the first time in a few years.
Yeah.
But
Surely.
Neosho at Glendale, who you rolling with?
Neosho at Glendale. I do expect Neosho's coming off of a 1-9 season.
Are
But-
talented at receiver, though.
Very talented down there, and I expect things to improve. But I do think that there's still a few years away, and I think the skill overall in that Glendale program is probably still better. And I'm going to take Glendale.
Yeah. I like Glendale here in a close game. Just like the McFarland hire at Willard, I liked the hire from Glendale and Frank Tristan. But I have Glendale winning in a close game.
Glendale's got a ton of talent. Like, if you've not, I mean, we've had a lot of success of them over the last several years, but, it's not from lack of talent on their part. Their D-lines have been sensational. They've had more Division I signees than we have. You know what I mean? Like, than a lot of people in the Springfield area. So the talent's there. So if their new head coach can get it figured out, get his system implemented, like I said, maybe just all the difference in the world is implementing that running back and having a different scheme, maybe not. But having said that, give me no-show. Give me no-show.
All right.
Give me no-show. I had to break the pattern.
There you go. I like it, and I don't think anyone's breaking the pattern here. Carthage at Waynesville. I got Carthage. I know your wife's the cheerleading coach at Waynesville.
Come on now,
but-
bud.
I will say I expect Waynesville to score early on a lot of teams in the COC, and
Although-
that offense is a booger to prepare for.
Yeah.
They have obviously had the whole offseason, but I wouldn't be surprised if not the staff at Carthage, but some of the kids are overlooking Waynesville, and it's not closer at the end of the first
It's a
quarter.
long
than
road
people
trip,
It's
too.
a-
Carthage is
it's
on
a
the road.
long-
Anytime you got to take a
ride.
bunch of 16, 17-year-olds on a bus for
through the humid
and a half
bus
hours?
trip
Yeah,
on the
almost
rain.
3 hours.
I expect Waynesville to put some points up early, but Carthage in the
Michael
end.
Kelsey Jr. He's a good
He's a good back.
No doubt about it.
Um,
He's one of the better backs in the COC.
And like Trey said, that single wing system they run, like, you're
It's not fun.
if you're inside backers,
There's eye candy.
don't know what the keys are, and there's, like he said, there's eye candy, and there's motions everywhere. There's guys spinning out, reversing, handing off, things like that in that single wing offense. If you're not keyed in on, hey, where are my guards going? Where's my sniffer going? Where's my all that thing? Because they'll take you to the football, but that's a lot, man, in a week to just get kids to just not fall for all that. Like, hey, where's your keys? So
Getting a 16, 17, or 18-year-old
Oh, yeah.
inside linebacker to not miss a key on that.
And-
They're gonna break one early.
and the Kelsey kid's good too. Like he
yeah.
he can go barn. They'll hand it to him. They'll snap it to him. I mean, they'll do a lot of stuff in it. Now Carthage last year they lost several games, a little more than they had been in the past, but they were extremely young. A good buddy who told me mine. They played a lot of sophomores last year and juniors. So their head coach, their whole staff's really good. They've had a lot of success very recently. So expect those guys with another year under their belt to
Kinda
get it.
cycling back
Yeah,
through.
yeah. I'm gonna go with Carthage as
I'm
well.
going Carthage too. I think the program or the cheerleading program at Waynesville though is stellar.
Oh, it's elite. They've got the best cheerleading coach, bar none.
Yeah, I can't argue.
Joplin at Kickapoo, week 5, a little former OC battle here between the Eagles and Chiefs. But
Come on with it.
What do you got?
I like this one a lot. Outside of the Jacket Stadium one and the one there at Republic, this is a battle.
I think
really
this was a
excited.
district game last year. I didn't write that
Yeah.
down, but I believe these two
was.
met in districts. And
Yeah, and like you said, old school rivals from the OC. I'm gonna take Joplin. Kickapoo lost a lot of people as well, and
Yeah.
Coach Jasper at Joplin, I have a lot of respect for him, and have a friend that was his offensive coordinator for a long time, and he said he's sad to leave a little bit. They've got some talent. I mean, obviously, Joplin's had talent. We watched Whit Hafer get snaps as a true freshman last night in Columbia, and I bet they don't miss a beat. I think they're going to be a kind of a sleeper in the COC this year.
Yeah, that week 2 road trip next week looming large for the Jackets. Their first road game at Jung Field. It should be a good time, but
The old white picket fence.
yeah,
Awesome atmosphere.
Joplin at Kickapoo. I'm gonna roll with Joplin, kind of like Trey said. Curtis Jasper. I think he's one of the best coaches in the COC. Probably my second favorite behind Will Christian himself, but I got Joplin.
I'll go with Joplin as well. I mean, Joplin's always going to come out and look the part. I mean, even in their down years, you're going to be like, wow. And
Yeah.
I think that's the case this year. I've watched some film. They're gigantic.
Kickapoo had a humongous senior class too with your cousin
But they'll bring
Wayner.
they'll bring back. I mean, they'll have another 25.
Kickapoo's going to look good too.
Yeah, they're going to have another 25 seniors, and they're going to have half those guys go play college football somewhere. I mean, it's just
Yeah, it must be fun.
yeah, no doubt, right?
Is that Nate Thomas?
Coach Nate
Sure.
Thomas. Yep.
So those are all the COC games. Now we're going to head to Fairgrove at Mountain Grove. I know Trey was giving me a hard time for making us pick this game, but these are two small schools that I think could surprise a lot of people this year.
Bill Voorhees.
I'll start us off. Aiden Eastep, a stud for Mountain Grove. If you don't know, you'll know here in a couple weeks. But
Yeah, he's a dude.
He is legitimate, and I haven't really picked an upset yet. But I think Mountain Grove over Fairgrove would be considered an upset on the lines.
I mean, Fairgrove's been
And I
phenomenal.
love. There's not a
last
better
few
place
years.
to eat at. Well, I hope I don't have to make any more trips down to West Plains. But on the way down to West Plains, the Grove at Mountain Grove, I have shout them out because what a phenomenal place to eat, and that's why I'm picking the Panthers
Well,
tonight.
the Grove is outstanding, and I think you just spoke for everybody in Laclede County and not wanting to go back down to Howell County. Baseball dads, we won't get into that.
Tough
but
subject.
yeah. But so we had a chance to do a kind of a little mini clinic with the Grove staff this year. So for those who don't know,
With Mountain Grove.
With Mountain Grove, yeah. So Coach Swafford's there now. Dan Swafford, longtime Ava guy, Flexbone guy.
Evangel, huh?
Yeah, he was at
Yeah.
Evangel. His son was there, so he coached there for a few years, and then now he's back, and he is a Mountain Grove guy. Grew up there, played there, so it means a lot to him, that place does. And he's bringing the Flexbone, so we did a little bit of that this summer with them. And we had a special guy last year in number 2, Gavin Smith, and he was a dude, and we did some film and talked about some things that they wanted to look at that we did. And, it was always great to get some ideas from them as well. I mean, we're always learning. But they mentioned they had a dude. And so, we're like, okay, well, this offense, there's going to be some quarterback-heavy run stuff for them, obviously, kind of like we were last year. So now first year's tough. Those kids have not ran the Flexbone. First year's tough. Every year it gets a little easier. And then, because your youth program is now running it, and then your kids who are actually playing on Friday nights, Monday nights, they get used to it. So, and Fairgrove's been really good the last few years. I mean, it seems like they always run into Lamar. And if, that ain't, but a lot of teams can say that in, their district or their quarterfinal. If we don't run into this team, we got to, we could have. So they're the same way. So a lot of respect for their program. Bill Voorhees, he must really love it there because he does have a machine there, because I'm sure he's had other opportunities to go elsewhere at some point over the last few years. But having said that, give me our fellow Flexbone team down there in Mountain Grove.
All right.
I have nothing mean to say about either of the Groves. I know Mountain Grove wants to call themselves the Grove.
Sure.
I think tonight Fairgrove's the Grove. I think the best player on the field is Kellen Lair, and
Yeah.
he's going to eclipse 2,000 yards this year.
Yeah.
And, one loss last year for Fairgrove to perennial small school powerhouse Valley Catholic down there in St. Genevieve.
And no doubt, Fairgrove, they are a
I
legitimate
think they're
football
a favorite.
program.
They're one of my favorites to make it to the middle of nowhere in Missouri, where we're going to go play the state title.
That's what I'm saying. What's in the water in Fairgrove? Because they roll out the same good-looking kids year after year after year. They're like clones. I mean, it's just amazing, and they can
Springfield
play.
Suburbs are popping off right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
So you're going
I'm going
Fairgrove. Okay. So us two, Mountain Grove. Gotta love that. Feel good.
I gotta rep the fellow Flexbone team.
We are inside the beautiful J.E. Boswell Auditorium on the campus of Lebanon High School, by the way. I have to give a shout-out to Lebanon High School Principal Dr. Katie O'Quinn for allowing us to use this. Here in 2 weeks, though, we'll be at Gardner & Smith Insurance from right across the road from Lebanon High School for our community tailgate on September 13th when the Jackets play host to the Neosho Wildcats. I think that will start at 5, and we'll have bounce houses there, free food,
Yep.
free drinks. So mark that down on your calendars. Come out, get some awesome food made by Ryan Shoemaker, Southern Heights Christian Church, Graven Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, all the people at Results Advertising, Scott Event Rentals. Gonna be a good time, and looking forward to that. Weather report. Coach's Lawn Care weather report. Do you have any?
Coach's
It's
Lawn Care
raining.
weather
It's
report.
raining. There's
It's not
your
gonna
Yeah,
be
this
great.
gym is starting to fill up. I'm starting to think that we might be in a little bit of a.
Yeah, it looks
A
like we've
delay.
got administration bringing people in now, and I'd say we're going to start under delay. We're still an hour and 25 minutes away from kickoff.
Oh, boys, we're playing
Um,
this thing tonight. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, we're going to get it done one way or another.
Yeah,
Jacket
yeah,
Nation
yeah.
Sports will be live when we go live out here. So
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and if you want to come out and sit in the pouring rain, I would encourage that. I think
Come
it's going to
on.
be an awesome atmosphere at Jacket Stadium myself. But if you can't, we'll have the game streaming live on our YouTube page. Hall of Famer Kevin Stubblefield and myself will be on the call for that kickoff starting at 7 o'clock, and we'll be live at 6:45, pending no delays. Anything else that you want to talk about? Are you good?
let's get it rolling.
Let's get it rolling.
All right.
I'm a lot like everybody else, just
So-
excited.
And then I guess to break it down for away games, so next week we're on the road at Joplin. We'll have a pre-recorded pregame show for you guys that will air on Fridays at 5 o'clock every week. Can't thank Brian Swino with Swino Visuals enough for producing this, Ramsey Stewart with LEB TV, Nathan Warson with Warson Media. All those guys are doing an outstanding job working with us, and just a humongous thanks to everyone.
Don't forget Shane Edson.
That's
with
right,
the
yeah.
keys
You know,
and
Shane
Shane
the
O'Mac.
man, the
He's the
teacher,
man.
teacher of the week, I
Teacher of the
believe.
week.
So,
Teacher of the week, Shane Edson.
and he deserves that. And again, want to thank our primary sponsors: Heritage Bank of the Ozarks, D&K Roofing, Mercy Hospital Lebanon, Missouri Cooperage, Jonesy's Travel Center, Results Advertising, Phone Outdoor Power, and Century 21 Laclede Realty. And with that, I think we're going to sign off here, but we'll see you guys tonight at Jacket Stadium. Come by, say hi to us. Hope to see you all out there. Go Jackets.
Go Jackets.
Go Jack.